What's up guys, my name is Stoody. I'd like to welcome you all back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be doing my round 17 tips for the 2024 AFL season. Before we get into this week's tips, let's go ahead and see how I went last week. So last week I got 6 out of 9 tips correct, which now moves me up to 107 tips for the season. So let's go ahead and see what tips I got correct and what tips I got incorrect. So I tipped Brisbane to defeat Melbourne. I tipped the Western Bulldogs to defeat North Melbourne. I tipped Geelong to defeat Essendon. I tipped Port Adelaide to defeat St Kilda. I tipped Carlton to rob Richmond. And I tipped Hawthorn to rob West Coast. So the ones I got incorrect were that I tipped Sydney to defeat Fremantle. I tipped Collingwood to defeat Gold Coast. And I tipped the GWS Giants to defeat Adelaide. It is now time to move on to this week's tips. So on Friday night, we have Collingwood taking on Essendon at the MCG. I'm going to be tipping Collingwood in this one by 26 points. Essendon, they're overhyped, overrated as they always are at this time of year. And then they usually have, their slump, which it looks like it's happening because they got destroyed against Geelong. As I said, Geelong were going to beat them. Not many people tipped Geelong, but I did, and I knew Geelong were going to beat them. Because it's Essendon, they always find a way to stuff things up. They'll somehow find a way to miss the 8, I can promise you that. Collingwood, they'll be pissed off after their loss against the Suns last week. They probably feel like they should have won that after making the Suns choke at one point and hitting the lead. So I think Collingwood will be able to get the job done here on Friday night against the Bombers. Moving on to Saturday afternoon, we have North Melbourne taking on Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to be tipping Gold Coast in this one by 19 points. Gold Coast still have not won a game outside of home, but I've decided I'm going to tip them in this one because if they're going to win a game outside of home, it'll be against North, you'd think. But at the same time, Dimmer hates playing at Marvel. I mean, he said it himself, so it's a bit awkward. Will they play terrible at Marvel? I don't know. Like, they weren't terrible at Marvel before Dimmer took over, and I don't think they've played at Marvel yet since Dimmer took over. So it'll be interesting to see how they play at Marvel. But they're simply the better team. They're clearly better than North Melbourne, and I think they should get the job done if they are the real deal. If they're going to be a finals team, they should be beating teams like North Melbourne away from home. That's for certain. So I'll go with the Gold Coast, not with really any confidence, but surely they get the job done. Moving on to the other Saturday afternoon game, we have Port Adelaide taking on the Western Bulldogs at Adelaide Oval. I'm going to tipping Port Adelaide in this one by 2 points. This is a tough one. I have no idea who to tip in this. Port Adelaide are not in the best form. I mean, it's at home though. It's their home game. I mean, if this was in Melbourne, I would definitely be tipping the Bulldogs, but it's at home for Port. They're not in the best form. The Dogs, they're always up and down as well. They're a weird team, the Bulldogs. I mean, I can easily see the Bulldogs winning this, but I'm going to go with Port simply because they're the home team, and surely they'll be desperate to work their way back up the ladder. I don't know where they are now, but they're probably only just inside the 8 now. I don't look at the ladder these days because it's a bullshit ladder, but yeah, I think I'm just going to go Port simply because they're the home team. Moving on to Saturday twilight, we have Geelong taking on Hawthorn at GMHBA Stadium. So why the fuck is this at GMHBA Stadium? It should be at the fucking MCG. So obviously Geelong are going to get protected in this game. Well, Hawthorn are a very protected team too, so maybe they'll call it down the middle. And if that's the case, I'm going to be tipping Geelong in this one by 85 points. Hawthorn, they're just a garbage team, really. So overhyped, overrated, as they are pretty much every year. So Geelong should be able to easily account for Hawthorn. They're just clearly the way better team. So I'm expecting a absolute shellacking here at GMHBA Stadium. Geelong should win this and win it easy. Moving on to Saturday night, we have the GWS Giants taking on Carlton at NG Stadium. I'm going to tipping the GWS Giants in this one by 10 points. So GWS, they'd have to be desperate. They're somehow out of the 8. They were a way better team than that. They're arguably one of the best teams in the competition. But they're somehow out of the 8. They have been robbed quite a bit this year. And I'm sure the umpires will do whatever they can to rob GWS in this game because Carlton are protected species. Carlton can only win from cheating. And if Carlton do win, it will be match fixing. I can 100% guarantee you that. Giants are a better team. It's at home for them. So I'm going to tip them regardless of whether match fixing takes place. Because if match fixing does take place, it will rob GWS. So yeah, if the game is rigged, it counts as a tip anyway. So I'm tipping GWS. Moving on to the other Saturday night game, we have Fremantle taking on Richmond VFL at Optus Stadium. We're going to doing Fremantle in this one by a rigged amount. Last time these teams played against each other, Richmond were robbed right in front of me. It was complete and utter bullshit, and it was just disgusting to watch, really. Absolutely disgusting. I wanted to throw up. It was fucked, the match fixing in that game, especially that Sean Darcy 50. That was the disgrace of all disgraces. One of the worst things I've ever seen on a football field. Worst kind of match fixing I've ever fucking seen. I don't think I'm going to be watching this game, to be honest with you. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I'm not watching that bullshit. Let's just move on to Sunday afternoon. We have Melbourne taking on West Coast at the MCG. I'm going to Melbourne in this one by 61 points. West Coast are shithouse, and last time these teams versed Melbourne were robbed a big time, so Melbourne will be pissed off after that and will be getting their revenge on Sunday. Against West Coast, they should be able to easily account West Coast. West Coast are a terrible team, so yeah, Melbourne will win it easy. This is probably one of the easiest tips of the week. Moving on to the other Sunday afternoon game, we have St Kilda taking on Sydney at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to give Sydney in this one by 29 points. Sydney finally took an L last week against Fremantle. Pretty unlucky, but it's whatever. McDonald completely fucking shanked it. What is wrong with him? He should have kicked that. Or at least got a point from it. And St Kilda, they're just not that good this year. I mean, they almost beat Port, but Port are struggling. I mean, I can see a world where St Kilda is somehow getting upset in this, but Sydney should be too strong and should be able to get the job done. So moving on to Sunday twilight, we have Brisbane taking on Adelaide at the Gabba. I'm going to Brisbane in this one by a rigged amount. The umpires are doing whatever they can to protect Brisbane this year, try to get them back up the ladder, and that's exactly what's going to happen on Sunday twilight. They will rob Adelaide this game 100% because Brisbane are a protected species, especially at the Gabba. So I'm just going to tip Brisbane in this one because it'll be rigged and Brisbane will be protected. But anyway, I guess that's it for this video. Feel free to leave your tips in the comment section down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment more like this. Be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also be sure to subscribe to my premium member, Sean Ducks. Link to his channel is in the description. Also be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe to my backup channel, Stoody TV. Link to that is in the description. Also be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channel. It is called Stoody Archives. Link to that will also be in the description. Also be sure to join my Discord server. It is called Australian Sports Community. Link to that is in the description. Also be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, and I also have TikTok. The username for all of those is StoodyYT, and links to all those will also be in the description. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.